for having to slip an Asian in.
Yeah, that
We're running low on black people.
That's disrespectful.
But we replenished ourselves.
Yeah, we went down.
You all really believe this?
This is Neal Brennan.
My name's Moshe Kasher. One and only DJ Douggpound.
That's
Hi.
Douggpound.
Yeah,
Hi. And our guest today, you know what's funny? I was trying to think of what I consider you're most recognizable for is the commercial where you get your hand bitten by the dolphin, right?
Shark, yeah.
Is that a shark?
Yeah.
It looks like kind of a whale, right?
It's supposed to be a shark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you said that like it was calling into question your street stripes. It's a shark.
Yeah. It was a shark.
Yeah,
man.
no,
man.
it's
A
not a
dolphin
dolphin.
wouldn't do that.
A dolphin would nibble. A shark really truly bites.
Right.
Our guest today is a gentleman by the name of black gentleman, of course.
Yes, flown in
by the
from
name
New
of flown in from. We flew him. You flew. Whatever. You were out here. Named Owen Smith, ladies and gentlemen. Owen Smith. Owen Smith.
Hey, but Neal. Okay, go ahead though.
Owen
I want
has-
to talk about the new renaissance of the champs, but
Owen has had an interesting experience
here we go.
also with white people because you went to Notre Dame.
I did.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
that's white.
That's
Disneyland for
that's
white people.
too
Yeah.
white for me.
You know,
Owen.
Disneyland is Disneyland for white people.
Spooky.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that. Moshe, what did you want to talk about with the Renaissance?
Well, it's just I came to the champs tonight to our
Right.
secret compound. We record, for those of you that don't know, we record in a multi-million-dollar sound studio in Beverly Hills, and we have there was coffee waiting for me. There was bottled water, and there was a young African American gentleman who introduced himself as our intern.
Yeah, we have an intern
I mean, I just feel.
I'm gay.
named Dominic, and he's got a really fucking highfalutin name. I'd like to say this about Dom. If you want to get on Doug's mic real quick.
Yeah, say
you have
hi, for sure.
Crazy. What's your name and your voice? You've got a buttery smooth voice as well.
Let's hear it.
Dominic David Vincent Blackwell Cooper.
Hello, everyone.
Dominic David Vincent
All right,
Blackwell Cooper.
first lesson, intern. Hug the mic. Hug
Yo.
the mic like it's a dick that you're brushing across your lips. That's the first lesson.
You want to get
like
racist
how
about
you
it?
got the
Enjoy
intern.
it.
Yo.
Take it.
No, get in there. No, for real, get in there.
Welcome to show.
Yeah, say your name again.
Dominic David Vincent Blackwell Cooper.
This is a name.
You got like a Mexican name, but you know, like, Don Helios Internet.
Yeah. No, that's like a.
If you
it's
wanna
like
get
a.
racist
Is
about
that, would you? Where you went to Howard?
Went to Howard University.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Grew up in Maryland, PG
Yeah,
County.
from Seattle, Washington.
Great.
That's interesting. That's both very black and very not black. Seattle, not black. Howard, very black.
White mom, black dad. So I went, you know what? Got the white experience.
Oh, is that true? All right, yeah. Like another. That's what the champ's all about. Is that we're all about.
you wanna get
mixed
racist about it.
experiences.
And I agree. And the only reason that I said a young African American gentleman is I just think there's an odd power dynamic for us, the podcast with only black guests and all white hosts, to have a black intern.
I don't know if it looks good or bad.
Or bad. I don't know either.
That's always
I
the
can't
rub
tell
of when
either.
you work with, as a white person who works with black people. Sometimes I'm always like, I'd rather hire black people than I feel like maybe I'm being a dick for wanting to hire black people. Owen, your thoughts?
You feel guilty? You got
I
white
just
guilt.
feel like
reverse
reverse
double up.
white guilt,
reverse.
like having we're basically, are we giving Dominic Blackwell Cooper?
Henry Phillips 19th III.
Are we giving him?
His royal
Are we giving him?
Jesus Christ.
Starship Enterprise
Yeah.
on
Right.
CC.
Are we giving him an opportunity, or are my?
You're giving
are
him
we
access.
Being,
Are we oppressing
Are we
him?
being condescending and be like, you, young
If you
black
wanna get
man,
racist
you
about
young
it.
black man Dominic Cooper?
Right.
That's a truly.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you treat him when he's here. Right now,
well, we're gonna treat him like a fucking intern.
Yeah,
Is how
well,
we're
there
gonna
you
treat
go.
him.
There you
Are
go.
you
Kid
or are you
brought
not
4
the Black
coffees,
Angel?
though.
Yeah.
Wait, was that of your own intuition?
5 coffees. I had nothing to do with it.
You just said, I think I'll bring coffee?
I just figured 4 guests and myself.
All right. Again with the mic, dude. I'm trying to tell you.
Well, do you want him to be on my mic, or do you want me to
We
go
want
home?
you both to be on.
Because
we want you both.
But those
to
are
be
two
on.
of the
Just
same
awkward.
option. Those feel like the same option.
I
Get all up in there.
I figured, coffee would keep the show running.
Yeah.
To me, you seem like a dude who knows what's up.
He's our first Champs fan.
This dude knows what's up.
Who's joined the staff.
Nice.
To me, you seem like a dude who knows what's up.
Dominic, that's you didn't hear that sound effect, but it was about you, and it was a good
All right,
one.
Dominic, have a seat, please.
All right, and please don't speak for the remainder of the podcast.
Thank you. Okay. And this
We're not
coffee
kidding,
isn't
Neal.
getting
This is
any warmer.
real.
Yeah.
Now, Owen,
Yes.
you have been doing stand-up for how long?
Oh, shit. I started at 19, and I'm not 19 anymore. So a few years, man, like at least 17 years under my belt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
17.
Where
And
did you start? I'm sorry.
Started in PG County, Maryland. Greenbelt Comedy Connection.
Oh man,
Yeah.
you must love The Wire.
I love it. But yeah, man. Took
The
place in
Wire.
B-more. I love how unapologetic it was. It didn't explain shit. I loved it.
You know who really likes it?
Nothing illegal is going on behind
White
closed
people
doors.
love it now. They found it. They finally found it.
Well, it's not like black people watched it either.
Right.
I
Who
think
did
white
watch
people
it?
like it way more than black people. White people adore it. Black people are like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, because you're kind of preaching to the converted.
Exactly.
Like, you know,
Right.
Chappelle said something interesting. That's my
Yeah.
first drop of Chappelle 6 minutes in.
Not the last.
No, of course not. It would be. We never did get that Chappelle sound effect for when I first bring up Chappelle every podcast.
Boing.
He didn't want to. I went to the premiere with Chappelle.
That is Neal.
That's an old clip of me.
Wow, this guy's good.
Yeah. The Chappelle once said he didn't want to watch The Corner, which is the precursor to The Wire,
Right.
because he didn't find black suffering that entertaining.
Yeah.
Which is that's
I'm not
a
ashamed to
mixed,
admit that I'm
it's
a
like
Christian.
he's right, but at the same time, it's like, well, so how should black people be depicted?
Well, I mean, that's a damn good question. We kind of get the same story, and you kind of get tired of seeing it.
Right.
It's the same.
Oh yeah, you were
moves.
talking about talk about that you saw the red tails, right?
It was horrible to me. You can't, as a black person, you can't say that. Yeah.
Right, it's very
You
popular,
gotta like it
right?
the same way
Right
white
now.
people gotta like Jennifer Aniston movies. I guess you gotta. Go,
Bucking that trend.
People get really mad when we
great.
say we don't like
Yeah.
Jennifer
I
Aniston.
don't
there's
know
gotta be a
who's
better
the-
one.
Say about J.A.?
Who's the guy? Whoever the guy is, you have to like. I
Right.
mean, it's
At this
The Wire. It's
like,
actually The Wire.
No, it's The Wire. It's also like
Michael Fassbender.
you can't say you don't like McBride.
You have to like Breaking Bad.
Yeah, you have to like
you gotta like Breaking Bad and
Yeah.
Mad Men. You gotta like
Yeah, you
Mad
gotta like
Men.
Mad Men, yeah.
I don't like Mad Men, but I mean I like the show, but I don't watch it. It's
But
not-
as a
Right.
group,
same thing with The
that's
Wire.
cool.
Oh yeah. As a white person, I adore it though.
Yeah. So as
As a person,
black-
no. But as a white person, that's fine.
I was excited to see it, but they made that movie already, the Tuskegee Airmen, and it was better.
So what didn't you like about it?
Well, I mean, it was miscast. First of all, Cuba Gooding. Put it like this: do you know how many black people said no for you to end up with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Terrence Howard? Like,
Who do you think said no though? Because the list
Cuba,
isn't.
Cuba already did the movie, and nobody's hiring Terrence right
Did
now.
Jar Jar Binks say no?
Right, but I'm saying, who
That's
would
That's just my
fly
guess.
in World War II.
No, but they still got Anthony Mackie. They still got all the usual suspects, right? They got Anthony Mackie, or they got the kid who looks like Anthony
Kaiser
Mackie.
It was like shit, man. That's one of these
No, but
things,
I'm saying,
like,
who
I
could
shouldn't
they
even
have
be talking
cast?
about this?
Why not?
It was like to me, it just seemed like none of the actors found their voices yet. They were all doing bad imitations of people that I've seen. If I was younger,
Dudes from other movies.
yeah, like one dude was clearly doing his Denzel. But if I was 13, I'd be like, this is the greatest movie ever, because I
Right.
wouldn't know. But
He was
the
brilliant.
cast just wasn't. It just seemed.
And was the
like a
story
nice
not
try. Nah, man. None of the characters, the character development wasn't there. Like it just seemed like caricatures. There was no real.
good? How were the drumline scenes?
Basically,
Were the
it
drumline
needed
scenes
it.
any good? Did they do a step dancing competition
It's
against
just a
Nazis at any
bad
point?
movie. It's
That's
just
what
a
I made that
bad
joke on
movie.
Twitter about drumline, and it was popular. And people thought I was being racist, but I was saying what I was making fun of was in the trailer is when they're like, "We fight, we fight, we fight, we fight," and it's like, why are the black pilots got to do chants and shit?
Right.
That was my point. Whereas I'm sure white pilots never did. Yeah, I've seen a lot of white war movies, and none of them ever chant.
Ever chant in the white war movie?
I've seen a chant.
I mean, we got a different soul and
In a
rhythm
white
about.
World War II movie?
Well, they got that
Yeah.
chant. I don't know what I've been told.
No, but not within.
Yeah.
I'm saying within with three of them.
Yeah.
I'm saying
I love to lick your creamy
right, but I'm saying they had to put it in the Red Tails picture.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading tweets and stuff, and a lot of black dudes under 25 said they loved it. So good. I mean, it did what it was supposed to do, I guess. Me and my girl, we watched it and we were heckling it all the way through.
Like out loud, like boom.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was just so.
I give a fuck.
One dude was like, "Come on, Black Jesus, take me to the thing." It's like,
Really?
word, yeah.
Oh, that's
Black
hilarious.
Jesus gonna get me there. It's like, wow.
Doug, you gotta get some. I hear
Black
it drop.
Jesus, and I got what they were trying to do
in the movie, in the airplane. He
in the
said that?
movie. Yeah. He
But was there even a concept of Black Jesus during World War II?
I'm sure there's been a black Jesus. Yeah, black people.
It's a black.
No,
people,
it just came about when you heard about it in 1988.
No, I didn't suggest that either. But it did probably have an antecedent date, don't you think, Neal?
No, but I'm saying it was probably before World War II.
Not positive that I used the word antecedent correctly. I'm just going to admit that. I don't know.
No, but you,
Howard?
When do you feel like Black Jesus would have come into?
During the 60s and 70s, during Black Power, during
Owen, when do you think it would have come about?
With Black Jesus.
Yeah.
I would love it
I
if
was
you
saying
didn't
the 1800s.
openly laugh at me.
He's proven my point, though. How long it was.
Yeah, I was saying the 1800s.
I'm Googling it right now.
We were
Black
so
Jesus.
Christianity.
Yeah.
What's
when
hilarious about
probably the 1600s when you see the hair of lamb's wool, you just go, all right, well that's.
I don't know what color Jesus was. I just think
now I just don't care.
Whoever killed him really did help his Bible sales. That's how I feel about it.
It's hot. You have to admit that Bible is hot.
It's a hot chip wasn't moving.
Yeah.
Could not move units.
It's brilliant.
What? Now you grew up in.
Oh yeah, I was born in the Bahamas, raised in Maryland, PG County, Maryland or Maryland, and then I went to Notre Dame for college. And
why did you go to tell people why you went to Notre Dame?
My mom, I knew I was gonna go to college. I just wanted a scholarship and get a car.
What'd you get a scholarship for?
I played basketball, ran track. What else did I do?
Football?
Nah, they hit too hard, man. I got a skinny neck. I won state in basketball.
Oh, you run track?
Yeah, I did.
You ran track. Have you heard that pickup line? Have you heard brothers say that to women?
No.
You ran track before?
No.
Really? I heard that.
No, I never heard that. I mean, but you know what? I never use it as a pickup line. But
No,
you can look at a girl
any
and
dude
tell.
on the street. I've just seen dudes on the street be like, "Yo, you ran track before?"
Yeah, I've said that to a woman. But I know.
I'm just trying to exonerate myself.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say it to Precious.
Now, didn't you go to Notre Dame because you thought it was? Were you the person who said you didn't know where it was?
Yeah, I had no idea where it was. They came at me for academic scholarship, and I showed my guidance counselor at the time, and he was like, "Man, you ain't gonna get in. What you wanna go there for? Why don't you go to Howard?"
Wow, the worst guidance counselor of all time.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm down in the dumps myself. I didn't go to college, and I don't think it's necessary. You could be a guidance counselor.
He wasn't like that, but he was just like, "Why you want to set yourself up for that?" And
ouch.
So then I told my mom. And it was like one of those.
So they wanted you for athletics, or they wanted you for academics?
Academics.
So they found you?
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't remember how that happened.
Were you a straight A student?
Nah, I got good enough grades though. I was a.
Well, if they weren't straight A's, they weren't good enough.
No, I didn't get straight A. But
It's not black to be well spoken.
At the time, were you wearing a two-tone, one side cream, one side black silk shirt, and your friend had stepped on someone's shoes and was in some trouble?
Is this Juice?
This is Boys in the Hood, I believe. I believe. Juice? I don't know what happened in Juice.
Juice,
Tupac.
Celebrated, I yelled this to you the other day, 20-year anniversary.
I know. That's
wow.
We're getting
crazy.
Old, Neal. What the fuck, man?
It's crazy. Summer theater.
Come fuck with your boy. What about it?
I applied, and when I got in, my mom, you know how you have your list of schools you're looking at? So people will go, what schools are you looking at? I'll be at University of Maryland, Howard, Hampton, Princeton. Then whenever I would say Notre Dame, people acted like my breath stunk. They'd be like, oh, Notre Dame. So I was like, oh, it might be something to this school. And all my boys thought it was in New Hampshire or Baltimore.
Right. I don't know where it is.
It's not black to be well spoken.
You really don't know where it is?
No, I truly don't know where it is.
Indiana.
In Indiana.
It's in. I had
2
literally
hours
no idea.
Yeah.
I had no
outside
idea.
of Chicago.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of fucking nowhere. It is. There is nothing. That's one of those places where you go, how did they end up here?
I mean, the mascot is a white person.
A fight and an angry white
Irish.
person.
An angry white person.
Irish dude.
Yeah. And where do you grow
All
up around?
black.
All black people.
Black people on both sides of me at every stoplight.
And were you one of those like, oh, look at this motherfucker reading type dudes?
No, I was the guy reading, and I used to dumb down to be cool.
Oh, well, that's what I mean. Like, so you got openly mocked.
Yeah, to it. But I had swagger because I could play sports and stuff. But I used to. To this day, I feel like I would be more articulate if I didn't care about. I have insecurities about my.
You know what's funny is?
Wait, about how high it is or low it is?
About how high, like when I watch Lemon, the dude on CNN, like those CNN talking heads that can just talk about anything. I don't feel
In world news tonight.
that shit. Like I used to love reading out loud in class, and I was really good at it. And then people would make fun of me. This motherfucker reading no shit.
Right.
So then I would stop.
If you don't
doing it.
understand that,
And
you're
then,
showing a tone deafness to
then-
the black cultural voice.
And years later, I ended up getting paid to do voiceovers. They were paying me to read out loud.
Right.
In the back of my mind, and my
Look at
deepest
this
insecurity.
You're saying that about yourself? Look at me, motherfucker.
Nah, I was like, if I ignored that, I don't know how much further I would be. Like, I watched like Roland Martin on TV One and all that shit, and I'm like, I could easily be doing something like that because I think like that. I'm hesitant.
Well, that's what I actually see in you is like I can't tell. Sometimes I can't. You're hard to read because sometimes I'm like, is he angry right now?
Right, yeah.
Or is he?
I'm the spook who sat by the door. Yeah, I know all white people's secrets, but I don't know.
No, but
you are probably an intellectual racist, and therefore you need re-education.
You're hard to read in that way where I don't know if you're pissed about stuff. If shit, it's like this shit Chappelle said to me one time.
Boom, Chappelle 2.
Kills me.
12. That was 12 minutes. There was a 12-minute break. So that when black people are around white people, they do what? They move slower.
Oh yeah, of course.
Moron. If you're black and you're in a room with white people, he will move slower.
It's like, okay, it's like this. Your asset, like white people, like 7 white people in a suit can ruin any black function.
Can ruin a suit. That alone will ruin a suit. That is too many people.
If it's a bunch of black people doing something and enjoying themselves, and then just 7 white guys just walk in and just look official, that will fuck up all our energy. We're trying to behave to you like, is everything all right, sir? Like,
interesting.
We're hoping we're acceptable to whatever that image presents.
Like if you're in a room, if you're in a meeting,
care to be acceptable to what we think.
I think we had, like, me and Moshe grew up or came around black, and like we kind of played that up for points in our life.
Right.
I did for a short period. I think you did for a short period too, around when you're 17, 18.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, what Dave was saying is that when black dudes are in a room with 15 white people, if you're the only brother in there, you're going to be a little smoother and a little slower and a little more like just put everyone at ease and all that shit.
You live life in the
first thing that happens is like it's twofold. A lot of white guys think they have to try to relate.
Yeah.
And it's like they say shit like, I listen to jazz.
Which I do listen
it's
to
like,
jazz.
stop it. Just talk like, if you could just be yourself, you're so much cooler to us than if you're trying to, relate. That waka flocka, huh? It's like, oh, calm down, B.
What if you were,
if
like
you want to get
myself,
racist about it,
a Pyru 26th Street blood? I mean, that in that way, I do relate to Waka Flocka.
We could instantly tell you're a fun asshole. So we don't give a. We're like, oh, this guy's just a fun asshole. He's just along for the ride. It's no harm. It's all good. I mean, but we can tell that about people.
I think,
and it's about intent. You're not trying to.
But I have the theory that because of that way. Yeah. That sort of thing about like trying to put white people at ease. That's how Obama governs.
Oh my God! Did you hear State of the Union? Like,
I didn't see it.
I didn't watch it. I listened to it.
Right.
And he was totally trying to put the country at ease.
You know what I love is when he goes like this.
Yes.
We can dream,
and we can.
And when you know this, and
he was literally.
And we must. But we can also do.
He was like the PBS painting dude.
Yeah.
He was talking like that guy. Like,
I feel now that everyone has almost. I know that it's subterranean, but I believe that most people. The reactionary right doesn't even care anymore. He's black. At first, it was all this fear, and now it's just anger. It's just straight up partisan.
But I would challenge it. I mean, Gingrich called him a food stamp president a month ago.
That's pretty bad, man.
And he's the number 1 or 2. So I don't think it's fair to say that the right doesn't play the racial shit anymore. I think they still do. But I find it interesting where he'll govern from. He's like half everything. He's like half black, he's half white, he's half right, he's half left. He's like, hey, everyone, just be cool. Like, can we?
To me, you seem like a dude who knows what's up.
Yeah, I mean, he can out-sharpen it and say, I know my point.
And he truly doesn't want to come across as an angry black guy.
And Barack Obama is the red tails of presidents, because if you're a black dude, you can't really be too critical either.
Oh yeah, you can't. Some people have been. Tavis Smiley was. And
Tavis and
Cornel West are both.
Cornel West. I mean, Cornel West has reason to be critical because the things that Cornel West cares the most about, Obama is not on board with. I mean, the things he said about.
Man, I'm not with that. All right.
What he said about when he extended the Patriot Act. I think a lot of liberals really felt like he turned his back on us.
You were a little bitch.
He's a decent president. He's a bad Democrat, but he's a decent president. That was the thought I had the other day.
Yeah, it could be a lot worse, but I just feel like everybody was so hopeful when he was elected that when we realized he was a politician, I think we were crushed. I was a little crushed.
No, yeah, it was dispiriting. But that's what you realize. It's like he's always been a politician.
Right.
He came into
He's
the
from
game.
Chicago.
Yeah, but that's not even the problem.
Come up in Chicago politically.
He's just an operator. There's a really good article in the New Yorker this week by a guy named Ryan Leza, who basically he itemizes all of Obama's compromises.
Barack Obama.
Which is an interesting system. What the fuck was that?
Barack Obama, motherfucker.
Oh, there you go.
What is that?
That's JP, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So how did you find your time at Notre Dame?
I grew to love it. It was weird at first because everybody, you don't know how to react because when you're a person in college, you don't have your own thoughts yet. You don't.
Oh, for sure.
Right. You're just taking with you what. So all I knew is Indiana. That's where the Klan is from. That's what I heard.
Right.
Is that true?
I think that's where it was born. Yeah.
That's where it was born. So I was nervous from my parents' fears.
You slept with a shotgun in your bed the first 2 years, correct?
I did the Malcolm X. I looked out the window.
Out your door.
But honestly, man, it was the one time in my life when I felt like there was nothing I couldn't accomplish. Like, that place was so nurturing. If I said I wanted to go to the moon, they'd be like, we know an astronaut, just get an astronaut.
Oh, is that true?
You have the biggest dick I've ever seen, man.
When I said I wanted to do comedy, it was just fully embracing. People found me books to read on stand-up. Whenever I performed, all the
Who would you tell that to? A teacher or like another student?
I performed at something, and I knew I wanted to do it. And then once I started pursuing it, I told an English teacher. He was so cool. He challenged. He did this one exercise where he goes, "Go home and write a paper about whatever you want." And we have an education system where we regurgitate everything.
Right.
So it was fun to watch all the kids go, "What do you mean? What do you want to write about? Just write about whatever you want." And I dug it. I was like, I get it. And his whole thing was think for your fucking self.
Right.
Just think for yourself. Write whatever you want. And me and this guy connected, and he pushed me to think for myself. So I let him know my secret that I want to be a comedian ever since I was 9. He was like, "Well, you should study it. You should read it." And that was all I needed. I kept meeting people along the way.
Did you call home to your old guidance counselor? He's like, "No, what you want to do
Man,
that
you don't
for?
want to
Come
do
on,
all
you can't
that.
be a comedian. There's nothing to that."
He was just,
come on home, Owen. You're not in Indiana, are you?
Come back to Maryland. Owen.
If anybody from the crib is listening, he was a good dude. He was just trying to. I'm not trying to be political. He was a good dude. He was just
a guidance counselor.
Yeah, in my neighborhood, like at that time, nobody thought that you could leave and be okay. They knew Howard was safe and Maryland was safe. They were like, Notre Dame.
Can you explain that to white people? Because I don't think white people understand.
My God.
They do understand. I disagree with you.
You understand, but the idea.
No, I'm talking about small town mentality that you can't escape outside of your block.
I'm not saying you can't. You can't understand.
I'm from the city. I don't understand that.
You guys are going to carry this right to the end, aren't you?
I'm saying that like there's small town is small town.
Right. I'm just like I can't get out. I literally can't. I never leave the block.
Right.
Yeah. For us, it's nope. Some lady wrote this book. I can't remember. I bought the book because she sounded amazing on the radio. She was a tribute.
Oh, and read some of it aloud for us.
Book read, motherfucker.
I know, reading ass motherfucker. Punctuation following ass. So then she was basically talking about like a lot of our behavior is attributed to slavery. She was taking it back. So she was like, if you tell a white parent in a parent-teachers meeting that the child is doing great, the white parent will go, "Well, they ought to be. We have them in these classes. We have them doing this. We have them doing that." If you tell a black parent the same thing, the black parent will be, "Oh, well, I can't do nothing with them at home." You got we put our accomplishments down, and that's from slavery. Because if the slave owner goes, your son shows promise, that means he could be sold or traded. So we would not. So it's out of love. Like if a girl likes you in our community, she's gonna talk about you. You think
she won't?
She will. She'll talk about your shirt or whatever. That means she likes you.
Oh, if she slams you?
Yeah, and so, but that's kind of like against what you're trying to do.
Maybe she read the game.
That's right. She's trying to neg you.
She's negging you.
She's just negging you, man.
Negging you. And then it's like...
She's trying to open a 3-set.
She said something that I remember. She said
Someone really has read the game.
Yeah, I fucking read the game.
You read the game?
Yeah, I read I listened to The Mystery Method, a book on tape, when I drove out here, and it's one of the greatest things I've ever listened to in my life.
You know they tried to hire me as a consultant, right? And I was like, I don't share my secrets.
You're an idiot. Put your pants on, you schmuck.
Okay, fair enough.
The one that struck me the most is she said whenever you're like in a bank line or something, you see a white kid running free, touching stuff. And I saw that at Earth Cafe where she was like, Timmy, whatever, come in. He was like, just free.
Fuck you, Mom.
But black parents are like, you stay right here with me. You don't go anywhere.
Right.
And that comes from slavery where you didn't have...
You are probably an intellectual racist, and therefore you need re-education.
That's interesting because black children no longer get kidnapped.
As much. We always...
I felt like that'd be a good pop, but it wasn't.
We always... It was about 20
They don't get traded as much? I was thinking for a trading joke.
He's calling me hacky in a very...
Come on, I mean...
Nice try.
So anyway, what is up with Glee this season?
And Owen, how do you find the thing about black women dating you? I feel like you have a problem, not black women slamming your shirt. Now, do you find that you're in your 30s?
Yeah.
And you've never been married?
No.
I see you trying
to get married,
to have relationships.
I go in.
I see you trying. What's happening?
Well, I'm in my 30s, so I'm dating women in my 30s. If I just want to hit or whatever, I might date somebody in my 20s, but in their 20s.
And you're also, we talked about this before, you will, from years of being on the road, you will, because I was telling you how when I'm on the road, I'll like hit on a girl for 2 hours, and then she'll be like, I have to go home to my boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you motherfucker.
Right. Can you guys take me through how you hit on people on the road?
Oh, you never worked the road?
I work the road like a dog, but I don't hit on people. I mean, my strategy on the road is sometimes I stand around and wait for a person to come up to me with
a loose ball.
A desperate look in their eye, and I go, well, I think maybe they're... But
that's pretty much all we're doing. I mean, that's all I'm not...
Because I feel like cats like you, especially you do drink. You a drinker?
I don't really drink either.
No, you don't really
every
drink.
now and then.
Yeah,
I don't.
Because like I see these kind of chicken hawks. You know what I mean?
Will
on the
you
road.
Bang girls that are drunk?
I mean, I have. I don't prefer it, but I'm not a big road pussy hound. That's not really my thing. I think, and I am certainly not chaste. I whatever.
But if you sit around and wait for like the weakest,
no, I'm not saying specific. No.
Lamest.
You're a predator.
No, I mean I'll wait for like a physically weak-looking woman to walk outside alone, and then I'll pounce upon her and force her back into my hotel room.
Yeah.
Nice.
But, no,
now you're playing the game.
No, is that the game? Is rape?
Yeah.
The game is rape.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wish I had. That's it. You should put up that was Moshe. No, but what I'm saying is like there's a specific kind of dude on the road that has a strategy of getting a woman, and I don't have that. What I meant to say is sometimes a woman will come up to me and be like, "Hey, you were great," and like kind of corner me like we're playing one-on-one basketball, and then I'm kind of like, "Okay, I'll hang out and see where this goes."
That's ultimately that's 80. That's where 80% of your action's going to come from anyway.
Right.
Because the group of girls that are the bachelorette party are leaving.
Right.
On the early show, they're leaving. You got to stay.
Right.
And the late show, they're generally hammered.
Right.
And the only girls that you're going to be able to pluck are the one who's there with one girlfriend.
Right. Or by herself. That never happens, right? No, but what I'm saying is I also don't think I have a lot of sexual charisma to the listeners, but I don't think that I'm the dude that people come up to and be like and hit up after the show. I actually think you will.
I think I'm gay.
It depends on what I talk about on stage. I used to have it down to a science.
Interesting.
What would you talk about?
Basically, like it's a pickup set.
Take me through the Matrix.
Yeah. Oh God. Like when I was in my 20s, man, I would be like, all right, I'm gonna talk. It's the way you would do your little sex act, your little sex chunk, but how you did it.
Right. How you fucked the stool.
Yeah, but I'm proud to say I never had to fuck a stool to get
You've never fucked a stool?
No, I've done it. I've done it mocking cats that
fuck a stool.
But nah, I've never.
Actually, you're a year too late.
But what I used to do, when I worked the road,
damn it. nothing happened there.
Moshe's trying to get me back.
I know. He's trying.
Desperately. To no end. To no end.
Yeah.
No results.
Even if he doesn't get you on the podcast, he's going to get you on the street. He will never.
Motherfucker, 20 years too late. And then I just shoot you.
Next late night appearance.
Moshe heckles me.
Like, yeah, Omar coming, and then you get shot.
Hilarious. Nah, man. What I used to do when I worked, I performed in 48 states back in the day, and I used to just go to the mall and just find the hot chick and invite her to the show. But I was real clear. I was like,
speaketh wisdom.
Which store would you go to first?
I would go to
Torrid or Hot Topic? What's your flavor?
I would go to like whatever the Macy's or Nordstrom's was, and usually the makeup counter girl.
Yep. Would you be like in one of those circular displays and you would pop up out of it like, hello?
Wait, so the girls that work there?
Yeah, whoever, man, because I'm visiting. Because it's like if a woman likes you, the first thing she wants to know is when you leaving. You know what I mean? And she goes, when you leaving? I'm leaving Monday. So that means, she can
you got to be clear about it.
She can be a different person. But if you're like, I moved here, then you're going to get the well, maybe we should have.
Right.
Back to the game. That's called a false time constraint.
Yeah, you got to act like you're going somewhere.
Oh, you're supposed but that's a lie. That's called a lie.
In the game, yeah. False time constraint.
Owen's not lying in this.
No, he's not. But he's playing for keeps.
Yeah, I was doing it.
False time constraint, yeah. When you're hitting on a girl, I'm going to relate this all to the game. When you're hitting on a girl, you should at a club, you should walk past and be like, look, I got to get back to my friend, but real quick. And then you ask her a question. So there it becomes like, what is so much better than me that you need to go somewhere else?
Yeah, my boy used to be like, real quick, who do you think lies more, men or women? And then they go, man,
that was his in.
That was his thing.
I had a friend who used to go up to every girl and would be like, that is a lovely necklace. Again and again and again would get girls by just starting with, that's a nice necklace. The thing about the game, though, is that I felt it's for dudes that don't actually have game. Yeah. Like, it's for low-level idiots who don't know what's up.
Yeah, most of it was confirmation of shit that you do anyway.
Just common sense shit.
No, I think it's for picking up, like, trashy chicks.
It's true, because
I picked up not trashy chicks with the method.
So you've employed those things that you read about in the book.
Rough, yeah. I'll just say yeah.
I find, I'm not trying to take you to task. I find
you're trying to get me back. You're trying to get Owen back through me. Go ahead.
20 years too late, motherfucker.
Yeah. No, what I was real clear on, I was like, listen, if you come see me, bring a separate car. Or you bring whoever you want, but bring your own car because you might like me, and you may want to go do something.
So if they show up,
that would avoid the whole, oh my God, let us all go out.
Right.
He's the
would they think that was too forward? Like, well, what do you mean? I might like.
That's how you do it, man. It wasn't I wasn't creepy. I wasn't like, you might like me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It came
Look
about.
here, bitch.
Don't you know
I knew how to make her laugh about it. But then she would think about it, and 9 times out of 10, she'd show up, and she might bring a friend, to feel safe, make sure I'm cool.
Right.
And if she dug me, she was like, all right, because the hardest thing.
I hit that ass when I moved on, dog.
Hardest thing is I'm on the Ruckus tomorrow. I don't know when you're going to air this. But,
we're going to air it tonight, tomorrow. Thursday, January 26th.
First comic.
Yeah. Owen got a standing ovation on the TV taping.
On what?
I brings the Ruckus to the ladies.
The Ruckus, the
longest
Russell Simmons
title in the history of
the new Russell Simmons
Def
Comedy Jam with the teeth taken out project.
Yeah.
Just kidding. You had a standing ovation. That's nice.
Yeah, man.
Nobody else did? Did you come out every time someone else finished?
Not quite. I didn't stay long enough to.
That's pretty damn awesome.
I got it.
Because I'm too edgy?
You punched a cop in the face, right? When you get a standing ovation.
That's pretty damn awesome.
And then, so what would you, of the 9 out of 10 girls that would come, what amount would you end up trying to maybe
because I was raised by a single mom, I'm like a 48-hour closer. I've tightened it down to like I can do 24 hours now, but back then it would, that would be the first, and we might fool around. And
right.
The next time I saw them, so the next time I saw them might be a month later if they flew out to see me.
Right. All right. Well, explain the difference between a 48-hour closer and a 24-hour closer, because I'm not even sure I know.
Well, 48-hour closer,
and I get tons of pussy.
Well, the 48-hour is double the time of the 24-hour closer.
Go ahead.
You sure you don't know? You didn't understand that?
Oh, go ahead.
Blush there?
Go ahead.
48-hour.
Can you put up some kind of divider?
How about a 24-hour divider? Do you understand the concept?
To be here?
You put up a divider, like a.
We're not kidding, Neal. This is real.
Hilarious. That sounded awesome. 48-hour closer is like you meet him, the whole thing, da-da-da. But and the next time you see him is on. So I just count that as day 2, you know?
Right.
If you're lucky.
She comes to the show? Is that day 2 when she comes to the show, or she already came? You met her at the mall?
I met her at the
mall. Met her at the
mall
mall on Friday.
It's going down.
But normally she would come at the show that same night.
It's going down.
That was meet me at the mall.
Meet me at the mall. Oh, where you at? Come on.
He don't know.
And she would come
I'm
Friday.
just slutty.
And then if I saw her Saturday, it was going to happen. But if I didn't see her Saturday, the next time I saw her, it was.
So you have to wait a full year till you come back to that club.
Sometimes they I would live in a cooler city than them. So I was thinking when I was living in Chicago, I'm thinking of coming to Chicago, and they just come to Chicago.
Nothing sounds worse to me than some girl I met in some random club in Kansas City coming to visit me in L.A. Like, I'm here for 3 days.
Oh, and you're
that sounds great.
I know, but that's the difference between being a 48-hour closer and 24. When you're 48-hour closer, you're like, all right, yeah, come stay. How bad can it be?
Right.
And then you get into your 30s, and you're like, it can get bad.
Yeah, man.
Like when they're like, I'm gonna come to Chicago, do you say bring a separate car? Where are you staying?
Have I told you?
I don't
Like
fly.
which hotel are you staying at?
Have
Not
I
at
yet
my house.
discussed on this podcast my strategy of what has happened when a girl comes back to my hotel room on the road and then decides that she doesn't want to close the deal fully, like just fools around?
You do the bed bugs thing?
No. Have I talked about this yet?
No, I don't think
I'll
so.
say it and we'll see if it's
Right.
true. So they'll come back to the hotel after the show. You know what? You would call them a loose ball?
Call it a loose ball.
Loose ball will roll my way, and we'll go back to the hotel, and we'll start maybe fooling around a little bit. And at a certain point, she might be like, I'm down, let's do this. Or she might be like, feel like, I'm going to go. Like, I don't want to fuck you, so I'm going to bounce.
He has a really, really small penis.
And they find that out, and it's time to go.
Time to go.
Every single time that situation has happened, I have forced them to have sex with me. No, I have said to them,
You guys have heard of roofies,
I have
correct?
said to them every time I go, okay, well, how about I just jerk off and you watch? 100% of the time they have agreed. 100% of the time they have participated.
Yeah.
They were on their way
this
out the
happened
door.
one time.
No,
So
it happened
100%
more
of
than
the
once.
time.
I'm promising
One out of one time.
More than once. One out of one.
No, that is
100% of the time.
method. I know people that's a very popular. I know.
Is that in the game?
It's not in the game,
Bust
but
it.
it's
called
but
whipping.
it's,
He
deserves
I know
an
a
Oscar
lot
for
of
that.
Guys who are just it's the Bill Clinton. You just
Billy
fucking
Clinton.
take your dick out. That's what he did with Jennifer Fowler. That's what he did with a lot of these women. Is just take his dick out and start fucking playing, and then they get like. They feel obligated and they're bored.
They're intrigued by the
Yeah.
idea. They're like, I don't want to be a slut. That's the impetus to leave. Is I don't want to be a slut and sleep with somebody I just met.
Right.
Fine. Cool. Don't do anything you're not comfortable with.
Get the fuck out of here!
That's what I'll say. Get the fuck out of here. No, and I'll say, do you mind if I do this? And then I believe the idea is like, I've never seen a guy do that before.
Right.
I'm not being a slut. I'm just standing
They
here.
generally enjoy watching a guy jerk off.
Yeah, sure.
More than you'd think. They're
because
always
most
like,
dudes are too timid to really do
Yeah.
that. Most dudes are like feel uncomfortable and be
That's
like,
a bold move.
I don't know. I don't know. So at that point,
Yeah.
I'm like, bets are off. I'm leaving.
do that? Yeah.
I'm not a 48-hour closer. I'm not gonna.
Nah, but you made a choice and you saying what you want sexually, and that's kind of the point. You know what I mean?
So 100%.
You actually pull your shit out and you start doing it. You're like, I'm going to.
It was the mystery you couldn't get enough of.
Without asking is a little rare.
No, that's a crazy move.
That's not cool.
nuts,
But
yeah.
my friend
that
is truly
my friend does that. He calls it the whip it, and he just at some point during a date will whip it out, and they'll have a choice to make.
But guys that do that have a certain energy too.
That's true.
You know what I mean? They got that kind of
But I found that's the difference between a 48-hour closer and a 24-hour closer.
Yeah.
Is a 24-hour closer, you're just like, yeah, I fuck
Right.
a good deal, and I'm not ashamed of it, and you shouldn't be ashamed of it either.
Right. That's a
the thing
24-hour closer.
Yeah, 48-hour closer is
You're
like,
looking
I'm a
at one.
reasonable. I know, I'm a 24-hour closer too, and I think
Oh.
Owen is now also.
And what about you? You 72-hour, Doug?
I'm 7.
7 hours?
That's the minimum.
Boom.
It's minimum.
He's fucking right now.
You mean maximum? 7.
But come on out, baby, and a girl comes up from under the table.
Damn it.
No, but that's and that's the other thing about jerking off in front of a girl is they just go like, okay,
Yeah.
like I guess I'm not the slut. He's showing me a
Right.
different way. That's
Right.
a lot of getting laid is you're taking them on an abstract adventure that almost doesn't count.
Right.
Like, no, we're just fucking around. We're just playing.
I would tell you some humbling shit though. One time I met a girl and we hooked up really quick and I thought it was me, and then one of my boys was like, how much pussy you get from your commercials? And I was like, oh shit.
Right.
And I thought back, she was saying a lot of McDonald's shit. Like,
she's like, all I've ever wanted to do is fuck the guy from the McDonald's
it's
commercial.
Kind of weird. You feel kind of embarrassed. Like, oh, that's
when
where
she
I'm at
came.
right
She
now.
went doo-doo-doop-doop-doop.
I know. I'm loving it.
I love that your humility story includes you on television and getting some pussy.
Oh yeah,
that's a true entertainer's humility.
The next day I get a check for $7,500.
So awful. So humiliating.
Don't you assume that that's always part of it?
You know, for me, it's weird because I'm not conscious.
Owen is in a shitload of commercials. If you don't know, other than the shark commercial, the shark/whale commercial, you're in the Allstate commercial.
Yeah, Nationwide.
I'm sorry, Nationwide.
I got a Super Bowl joint coming out.
That Super Bowl joint?
Yeah, I can't.
You flipping that Super Bowl joint?
Oh
shit!
Yeah, but allegedly.
Can you say what it's for?
Nah,
that's exactly
you
what
can't even say the product.
Nah, because I should have said the product, and I said when it was gonna come out.
It's too late now.
Signed so many papers saying I wouldn't.
Oh right.
So
we can beep it out. We can.
All right.
We can edit that out if you want.
Yo, we could.
I'll tell y'all later. All right, you ready? Act like I said it. You ready?
Doritos.
What? Pepsi.
The Gap. It's gonna be really dope. But, yeah, but it's weird. Like for me, because I'm just starting to get recognized. Like when I live in Harlem now, so cats would be like, "Yo," and
that sounds like it was an actual cat.
You forget.
I better keep my mouth shut.
I mean, like I was on a train one time, and this dude walked in doing his speech. I'm not homeless or not, whatever. And then he just goes nationwide and points at me.
Right.
Then the whole.
And then you got to give him $1.
Yeah, and it was like, oh,
you can't be like, I'm broke. You're like, I just did a commercial for a bank.
I can get you a deal on some insurance.
Yeah, it's cool.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to bother you. Things are bad. Oh shit!
He's the co-creator of the legendary Chappelle Show.
Yeah, I get it too, Doug.
Yeah.
But don't you assume if a girl sleeps with you, it's partially isn't that part of the impetus?
That's
for
what I'm
show
saying.
business?
Like, no, never for me. I mean,
but you're not. I'm not saying people are in it for sex. I'm just saying like it's one of the fringe benefits.
Have either of you ever had the fear? I have. It's just a psychological fear. If I find love with a woman that somehow
Nothing.
That somehow,
if I find love,
if I find love with a woman, that somehow that will dampen my motivation to make it in show business. That I'll be like that. In fact, all of this was some subconscious desire to get laid, and then if I find love and just pour it into that, then I'll just be like, I know it's not real, but I think there's a part of me.
I think if you found parental love, that would make you not want to be in show business.
You want me to, if I fucked my mom, I would stop.
Yeah, no, but if your mom, if you somehow went in a time machine and were raised differently, you wouldn't want to be in show business. I feel that way about myself.
I would say I think I might still be in denial about this. Like if you met a girl I used to date, she might be like, he totally did. But for me, I've seen people who use who they are to get laid, and I'm like, I'm not that guy. Like in my mind, I'm like, I'm not desperate.
Yeah,
like
no,
that,
I agree. Like I agree that you don't.
Head,
but I don't.
You don't have that vibe either. Actually,
but you want it to have an advantage toward getting laid.
Everybody
but you don't
want
to
that,
like
right?
act like it does.
I know that's why dudes go to the moon. That's the ultimate. Well, I was at the moon. What the fuck did you do? You know what I mean? Like that guy trumps all of us.
Right.
I mean,
not if he says I was at the moon.
You know what it is? Because I went to Notre Dame.
Hey, where were you at last Saturday? I was at the moon.
I would tell you this.
For real, I was at the moon.
I know, I was in the moon. Where's you at?
I was at the moon, baby.
And now quit reading that book and stop trying to go to Notre Dame. Go to the moon.
Right.
You can do that.
Podcast or astronaut. Come on, baby. So
at the moon.
I had a lot of friends who played professional sports. I had one in particular. And he used to use being an athlete to get laid. Like that was his move.
Refrigerator Perry.
He would call me and he would use my jokes to get women. You know what I mean? Like
right.
I was broke for a long time, so I had to get pussy from just creativity. And this dude, you know, he had money, so I never really looked at. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I would think of crazy shit to do, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, this guy."
Well, yeah, but that's the weird thing about being funny is that is attractive to women too.
Yeah,
like
right.
so, it's like I don't know. It's funny if it's funny if we're funny and then we get laid, or if we're funny and then you get popular, or you get in commercials, and then you get. I kind of it's impossible. The forensics is impossible to figure out why a girl is.
My boy used to say, I can sleep with any girl for $700. That's what he would say, and he would run down his.
What does that mean?
This is what he did. Now this was in the 90s. This is what he would do. So say we were in a grocery store, like Ralph's is out here. Oh, say we were in a grocery store, like Ralph's is out here, right? And he would walk up.
And offer someone $700 and say, will you fuck me?
No, this is what he would do. He would meet her, boom. The next day, he sends flowers to the job, obnoxious shit. So even if she has a boyfriend, she has to take all these flowers home. Who the fuck giving you all these? Some guy, I don't know. Then he'd do it again, and then so she has to call him to stop. I'll stop if you have dinner with me. I got a man. So then she would go have dinner with him. He'd take her someplace she'd never been because she works at whatever the gig is. And
so we're like 140, 50 bucks.
Might be at $250. He would usually get her at like between $350, $400, or if it was a hot waitress, he would tip big.
I'll tell you where that dude wasn't from. He was not from Oakland.
No.
I'm not trying to.
He was not from the West Coast.
No,
he was a
that's some East Coast shit, right?
He was a Midwest dude.
Yeah, it's like,
Midwest dude.
Man, I'll tell you what. If I spend almost $1,000 on a woman, she might fuck me. It's like Oakland cats are like, I won't spend $12 and see what happens.
That's what I learned about L.A. when I came out to L.A. It was a different.
True.
Yeah,
it's true. It's some West Coast
that
shit.
You don't even bother. You like as little as possible.
But the bar is so low generally.
Yeah, I know.
Like women don't. They're like. Crazy.
I had an ex-girlfriend that moved to New York, and she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe how much attention I received from the men here. Everybody's like, you look so nice, blah blah blah." Because she had been in Oakland for the last 10 years, and people in the Bay they are not about that, and that's where I think, and I know that I'm not some dude with swag. I'm like some weird indie-looking kid, but I was raised in that environment where if a girl likes me, I'm waiting for her to come to me. Pretty much all the time, and I'm always playing it cool. I mean, that's just like straight up ingrained in the dude from the Bay Area.
I didn't know there were any Jewish rappers.
Well, there's also not a lot of straight dudes in the Bay, right? Don't women? Aren't there? There's women outnumber men.
That's an interesting idea. I don't know.
A friend of mine lives in the Bay, a girl, and she was like, she lives in Oakland. She's like, it's so hard to even find eligible guys.
Yeah, it could be.
I dated a girl from the Bay, and she thought every guy was gay. Like she emasculated.
I think I'm gay.
Straight dudes. She just assumed that every guy was gay. And
I have a theory about girls, which is if you talk to a girl for 40 minutes, the odds of her like wanting to fuck you go up by a factor of 7.
Just talking to her for the amount of time.
Yeah, just if a girl spends that much time, I believe women are so programmed to love men or whatever.
The book says you get 7 total hours is all it takes.
That's the Doug book.
Of actual. The book I wrote, yeah. Doug's game.
Oh, wait, you're talking about the game? You've read the game, too.
I started it, but I have to say I did not finish it. It was
7 total hours.
After a while, I was like, this is it.
Yeah, I have to say, I find the game actually morally reprehensible. I find it disgusting.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I mean, go.
I think it's gross. Why? It includes manipulating and lying to women in order to fuck them. It's like, why don't you fuck them because you have charm and charisma instead of using some weird, tricky subterfuge.
Right, but I would argue that charm and charisma is also manipulation.
It's not, though. It's being yourself as opposed to literally lying.
Okay, here we go.
But you develop
trick that you learned from the mascot of Owen's College who taught you that in the forest. Like, what you got to do is just lie to them. You know what I mean? It's like, I've been in the situation. This really
Leprechaun?
did.
It wasn't like lying to them. It's more like talking to them like what they. It's like more like
treat them like they want to be treated. You should treat them right.
Unlocking their pre-existing sort of code that will make
taking advantage of their insurities.
Well, you know,
if you want to get racist about it,
systematized. I mean, we all do that.
Systematized.
We all do that. I mean, it's
at the moon.
It's a conspiracy.
That shit was systematized at the moon.
But I just
Moshe and Neal see women as objects. Doug sees them as people. No homo.
I was in the streets in New York actually, and I was kind of like
love New York.
Yeah, I do too. And it was a girl I was dating there, and I was kind of like.
Didn't you have a date last night, or you want to talk about that or no?
I mean, I could.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, I had a date last night.
All right, cool. Talk about New York.
All right now. So I was sort of sitting. I was like in the cut. I was like sort of back a ways, laying back in the cuts, if you will, true Oakland style. As the girl that I was dating,
on the street.
Yeah, on the street in the East Village, I think. As the girl I was dating was sort of up by the sidewalk, like sort of, But it was a big group of us, and these dudes walked by, and they started hollering at my girl.
Oh yeah.
And I was
white dudes, black dudes, Puerto Rican.
It was a black dude and a white dude, and one was I was very intrigued.
Were they young or were they like?
They were like maybe a few years younger than me, but they were like 27, 25,
Right.
and I was kind of amused by them because I was watching what they were doing. And they were hitting on. I felt no insecurity because, like, I knew that was my girl, so I could kind of watch.
Come fuck with your boy. What about it?
Yeah. So I noticed that they were doing these like very obvious tricks where they were kind of like, oh, can I talk to you? And and then making fun of her a little bit. And I was like, kind of laying back, kind of like, oh, this is interesting. And one guy was clearly the apprentice to the other dude. The other dude was clearly more in charge, and he was like, he
had an intern.
Basically, he had a Dominic. He had a black man. I mean that as your third name, not a black person. All right. Anyway, so I said
we're going to start calling our intern our black man. What you're saying.
It's not black.
I want to tell you about when I opened for Bruce too. Speaking of that, but
I think you have.
Have I already mentioned that? So I said, hey man, have you ever read the book The Game? And it was just like a train collide. And they looked over. And
okay,
like,
here we go.
The guy was like, oh
yeah,
hey, what? Like gave me something like player's nod, And then he came up to me and was like, how long you been doing this shit, man? I was like, oh, I'm not doing this shit. I actually know how to talk to women for real. But I saw the whole manipulation.
Right. The only thing I've ever done.
Man, I'm not with that. All right.
Yeah. Right.
Be confident. That's the way you hit on girls. You be confident. That's basically the theme of the game.
Right.
You be confident in the face of in places you shouldn't be confident. And they're just looking for this guy's a dominant male.
Right.
This guy's got status and, it's like whatever. It's nothing that you don't do anyway.
Oh, and you strike me as the kind of dude that only hooks up with really hot women. That's like you have a baseline and you will only. Am I right about that?
No, I've done worse.
You have? Okay, so you're a dirty dog.
With a range.
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes I want to be interested. Sometimes depends on how I feel.
You want to be titillated.
No, because it's like there's a certain type of dude, and it's not like we all couldn't do that. If we decided from now on I only will get with girls that I find to be like the hottest of the hot, well then we might get with less women, but we would certainly still it wouldn't hinder us. But then there's a certain dude who will never go below a certain baseline.
Yeah, I know those cats.
That's never been me.
I've been the first, but what I realized is that when I was getting just nothing but good-looking women, it was mostly because Chappelle because of just being around Hollywood shit.
Right.
Like when I was doing the Pivot movie and I was just in that circle, then
totally.
It's like
the people
go to the opening and go to this and go to the you want to go to this club. This guy runs a thing, and then you go and it's just good-looking people.
Everybody in the world is just an insecure person that wants to connect to another person, and so it's like you go to these big Hollywood shit. It's just other human beings there, like notice me, like me, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, he's looking very funny. Neal Brennan.
What I noticed about the current girl that I'm dating right now is that she does not trust me. But it's not anything that I did to trust. Trust is such a fragile thing.
Maybe she doesn't trust anybody.
Yeah, because she's been hurt before. So, and her hurt is so now I'm the next dude. She's waiting for me to do some.
You're the last dude. Continued.
Do you guys feel like a lot of girls, high-end girls, don't want to go out with you because you're a comedian, and then they think that you're somehow less stable or
I've gotten that before.
And I think
totally.
They're mostly correct.
Well, they do fantasize about all. They do have a real obsession with the road. Oh, you're out on the road and you're fucking with these girls and blah blah blah.
I'll tell you one time when I had this fantasy, man. When I lived in Chicago, I wanted to take a girl on a nice date, just go to a comedy club, sit in the audience, and be called up on stage and crushed. That was.
So such a narcissistic comedian's
It was called The Nutty Professor.
So I went on a date with this girl. I met her in Chicago. We had a nice date. We go to the Zany's Comedy Club. We go through the back door. And all the staff, I told them not to act like they knew me. Right. And they kind of knew.
Did they know? Were they curious as to why you went to the back door?
Yeah.
This isn't the door.
It's because I was headlining that week, but I took her so she didn't see my picture in the front. We sit and we watch the show. She's laughing.
She didn't know you were a comedian.
She did not know I was a comedian.
Jesus.
And then they go, "You ready for your headliner?" "Yeah, you ready for your headliner?" "Yeah." And I was it's one of those things you practice, like, "I'll be right back." That kind of shit.
Oh my God.
So they go, it was totally. So they go, "Give it up for Owen Smith." "I'll be right back." So I go up, I do a high 45, I crush, I come down, and she was mortified that I was a comedian. Like, she didn't want anything to do.
Interesting.
She thought that everything that happened on our date I was going to talk about.
Right. That's the thing that people think, like, you're going to talk about me. I don't.
It was horrible. It went down,
Even after a hot 45, were you crushed?
I crushed. But it was
what'd you close with?
What'd you close it up?
I'm fucking that bitch right there.
Black kids don't get kidnapped like white kids.
What?
Mic drop.
I'm not with
Get
that, all
school
right?
pregnant. Right.
So what?
Nah, man. I don't even remember. But
That's funny.
I remember just being fucking
Well,
crushed,
but I think when girls are like you, generally it's like, oh, you guys are crazy. And they're girls that have dated comics think that comics are slutty.
Yeah, and they're right.
Girls, and they're right. And girls that haven't dated comics are like, I heard you guys are all crazy. And in their defense, generally we're crazier than most. We're crazy. We're the craziest profession, probably besides wrestler or football player. In
Wrestler?
Terms of that's where you in terms of like. And those are drug use things.
Yeah, but a few thoughts. I think that we sort of get into self-indulgent kind of hero worship of ourselves as being crazy. Like, you know me, I'm a comic, so I'm fucked up. Or
Lavish life, nigga.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
So
awkward.
I think that's part of it. But I think you're right though. I think we're undateable. Who would want to date us? Oh, okay. Well, here's the deal. I'm on the road all the time, but when I do come home, I gotta go out to the club to work on
I'm not
new
available.
Stuff.
From 8 to 12.
Who the fuck wants that?
Well, most women, I don't want to say all, but most need to feel like they're important in your life. Like they want to be number one. And comedy is clearly like it's like our first wifey.
Yeah,
you know, like
we're married to the game.
We'll be like, that'll be funny, or that, and they're like, So they don't even hate what you do. They just hate that what you do seems to be more important to them.
I've never had a period in my life
than them.
Since I was 18 where I wouldn't rather be in a comedy club, even when I wasn't doing stand-up. When I was just a writer and shit, I always wanted to go hang out at a comedy club.
That's interesting. Wow. I do not have that feeling.
You don't? Oh, well, you don't. How come?
I like the other parts of life.
I think that's I'm not saying like I just want to hang out at a comedy. There's shit that's gross and tiring after a while, but I want to go to a comedy club pretty much every night.
Wow. Yeah. You should be. It's interesting you don't live in New York, actually.
Well, I'm at clubs here every night, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, but
inside of the store,
my girl doesn't trust me, but I just realized that I don't trust her.
Oh, ding! I think
either.
Yeah, man.
So it's like,
why don't you trust her?
Well, I have issues with people doing what they say they're gonna do. I just think people are inherently selfish, so I'm waiting for her to.
But also, everybody that has extreme trust issues, I find, has extreme. Reasons to not be trusted. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is someone so paranoid that you're going to cheat on me? It's like, because cheating's in your brain. You know what I mean?
Right. So, like, because I had to come out here to do Conan, but I got that commercial, so I had to go back to New York. So, so she was coming out here to enjoy, go through the whole Conan stuff with me and support me and all that. So she was like, I'll just stay at your place and I'll drive your car. Freaked me out because I'm like, yo, don't crash my shit. I start going there and she was like, I ain't going to crash it. It just became a thing. I go, my flight gets in at this time. You gonna beat it? I'm gonna beat it. It became right. And so then I was like, well, you know how you think I'm gonna, you don't trust me to, do right by you. We just realized we're in a relationship where neither one of us trust each other. It's
right. Well, that sounds nice.
It's kind of interesting. It's like some spy shit, And I think that's kind of where it is, like globally, you know what I mean, with a lot of people.
Why don't you just have people not done what they said? Have women not done what they said they were going to do with you?
People, like, nah, it's not gender specific. It's just people in general. I feel like my needs, when trusted in the hands of other people, will not always be met.
You have intimacy issues, and you like to be in control. Yes, you do.
Intimacy.
Take it in.
Yeah, I could be in denial. I'm open. I don't know what it is. But
but I'm the same exact way. I like to be in control of all situations at all times. And when I think about being with a woman, this is what I'm working on in I think about being with a woman, like, I don't want to owe another human being my time.
Yeah.
How the fuck are you gonna ever tell
my
me?
My therapist sent me a article. The term is schizoid. It sounds fucking crazy.
You sure that's not a person from the Snorks? Like a villain from Thundercats.
That was a great reference.
Schizoids.
Hey, you got Owen.
That was good.
You got him on
I know
that one.
Thundercats.
I don't know Thundercats.
Oh,
schizoid, where you would just rather be by yourself.
But I wouldn't, though. That's the great fundamental schism that is me. Schizoid.
Yeah.
That is me. I want to be alone and with a person at the same time. I want something that doesn't
You're
exist.
not funny. You're annoying.
Who is that?
Gallagher?
You're not funny. You're annoying.
It's actually Brody doing his sister.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right, Owen.
To me, you seem like a dude who knows what's up.
So I think we're good. I feel like we've only scratched the surface.
Right, man. I
gotta come back. I gotta come back.
I do have a better understanding of you as a guy.
Yeah,
I do too. Yeah.
Is that
Slightly,
good or
but
bad?
still not where I want to get.
Okay.
Who was your best friend?
Growing up?
No, now.
Me.
Fuck, man.
Wow. Well, you know, when it was Moshe. And,
Yeah. Moshe. He doesn't pronounce my name totally correctly, but we're very close.
Yeah, he fucked my girl.
That's how we became close.
I don't know. Yeah. He's fucking.
I've got a big problem.
Doug's book, The 6 Hour Closer. That's funny.
Yeah. You know what's crazy that you say that? When I was out here, I had a best friend, and then he betrayed me.
Right.
Speaking of trust.
Yo, it was like, and it was the first time I ever felt that. I was like, oh,
Is it the person we talked about?
Probably.
Okay.
I'll
Now,
tell
who
you a
is
lot
it?
of shit. Like,
What's the name of the person? What person is it
you know,
specifically?
it's crazy, you know. And so, yeah, it was the first. That's how come I related to LeBron in Miami when he left the whole Cleveland thing. I was
Right.
like, the first time you ever get betrayed on whatever scale, that shit hurts, man.
Yeah,
you just like
Inside of the story.
dudes, you just know where you can go to heal. Like we don't, you know, it's like suck it up. But that shit
Right.
hurt. That was my
Yeah.
boy. Like, I was
Yeah,
like,
tell me about
if
it.
I ever
That
get
shit
married,
hurts.
he's gonna be, you know what I mean? He's gonna be my best man. Da da da. And it was So I don't think. I mean, I have really good friends now. Huh?
I said a girl had to be involved in that.
There's always a girl involved. And
I mean, could there ever be anything
Oh,
else
was there a
besides
girl
money?
involved in this schism with the guy?
Maybe.
Yeah, but it wasn't. We weren't vying for her attention in that way. It's just that in life you have certain social rules, and it may not equal up to what they believe. You know what I mean?
No, well, that's the thing is what is the right amount of time to know someone before you go, that's who they are? Like, because I still am like, I've known people for 10 years and then they do some shit. I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Interesting.
But what is the right amount of time? I guess
I feel like you learn 90% in the first hour.
Yeah.
And then the rest, the remaining 10% takes the rest of your relationship to figure
you
out.
try to make them into who you want them to be, and then you go,
Right.
yeah, they are who they are.
I do 7 hours on that too.
Boom.
Did I kill him?
You know, they say, the trust bucket fills up one drop at a time, but it only takes one kick to knock it all over.
Fuck. Wow.
All right, welcome back to Comics Unleashed. Ladies Gone Wild.
That's it.
Intern, get us our trust bucket. Hey, black man. All right.
Where you going to be, Owen? What do you got coming
Where you be
up?
at?
Tomorrow, I'm gonna be on Russell Simmons Presents the Ruckus. Watch that on Comedy Central.
I can't wait to
just
see
did
that, man.
Conan, watch that. Go to my website, OwenSmithIsFunny.com. Follow me on Twitter at OwenLOL. And
LOL stands for
laugh out.
Okay.
Lazy.
Oh, that's cool. That's pretty cool.
What do you got going on, Neal? What you got?
I'm road dogging it. Yo, I'm gonna be in
Don't say yo.
fucking Tacoma. I'm gonna be in Cincinnati. I'm gonna be in Virginia. I'm gonna be at the Arlington Draft House.
I heard that's so sweet.
I'm doing Fallon on the 10th.
Nice.
I'm doing Charleston. I'm doing crazy amounts of stuff.
Road Doggy Dog.
Road Dog. I think my website's going to be good in like a day. So
Very
go on
exciting.
that. NealBrennan.com.
I will be at Wise Guys in Salt Lake City this very weekend that
You don't
this
say.
episode will drop. And then, of course, my book comes out March 28th, and the Kasher in the Rye tour will begin. I'll be all over these here United States.
How many cities you going to?
Right now, I have like 10 cities confirmed, but
Correct.
there's a lot more.
You doing
coming,
one?
too. I'm doing all kinds of weird
But are you
shit.
doing? Okay. Are you doing like it's city, 10 cities in 2 weeks or something?
In about a month. I got a whole bunch of shit coming up. I got a gig at the Detroit Museum of Modern Art that'll be really cool. I'm going to be doing a reading from a set designed by the guy that built the Pee-wee's Playhouse set. So there's going to be all kinds of weird shit out there.
You know, it would be great if you had Owen read part of your book.
That would be great, man. We could I could throw my book reading, motherfucker.
I know somebody
Don't go to Notre Dame.
What the fuck is this?
Doug, what do you got, man? You got anything exciting?
Yeah, I got a show on Friday at the Second City.
Boom.
Sweet.
In Chicago or here in town?
Actually, here in LA.
In Los Angeles.
And then I think on Thursday I'm playing at the Meltdown.
Friday, January 7th. Thursday, Comedy Meltdown?
It's not the
27th.
It's not the Kumail show. It's like another night.
So this will be when this episode drops. Thursday, Meltdown. Friday,
also, $1 billion movies coming out on demand on Friday.
Oh, yeah. Doug edited the Tim and Eric's $1 billion movie, which will be on demand on Friday.
And then it's going to be in theaters in a month. I don't know.
Cool.
So check your listings.
So check out at Douggpound, at Neal Brennan, at Owen Smith, LOL, at Moshe Kasher. You're fucking with the champs, ladies and gentlemen.